Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I'm coming to you today with, it's called a triple cube pop-up card. Now, I saw this on Pinterest. Somebody had made this cute baby card using an old rabbit stamp set, and I have two twin nephews coming here very soon. And so I needed a couple baby cards. So I decided I was going to try to make this card. Well, I clicked on her link and there was no detail on how to make the card. Like it didn't go anywhere, it's just a photo. So I kind of looked at her photo and I kind of figured out what I wanted to use for stamps, but then I needed to figure out how to do it. So I looked at a bunch of different places, but the one person that I liked how she explained it was Lisa Stamp Studio. Now, there's a couple things that I'm going to do different on my card that she did on hers, and there's a couple things I'm going to tell you that you could do because I made a mistake when I was first cutting out my sample card. And after I got done, I'm like, oh, I could do this with it. So maybe somebody else has already done it, but this was just me realizing this. So I am going to maybe make another video like down the road of other things that you can do with this to not keep it just this size. So how this works is they receive it like this. Now I'm going to put the word baby here. I just haven't cut it out yet, and I wanted to get the video out for you guys. So then we're going to pop this open, and they pop that open, and then this all, I don't even know if it's picking up, all this pops out. So it's like this really cute baby card. And in here there's a little pin that says welcome baby, and I had these little ducks and stuff put on there, and on the back is where I would put a piece to write your information. Now I don't usually add that piece till the end because it's hard to write on it when it has all the stuff. So when I send this, I will do that. So this is one of the baby cards. Now I got thinking we could have a lot of fun and do some other type of cards. Now this is my sample. This is the one I just take random discontinued paper and I make a sample. Now this is exactly how Lisa did hers. The thing that she didn't do, she put a word in here, she did do that, but she didn't put any paper on the inside, and I felt like it needed paper on the inside, and she didn't put any paper on the inside here, and I also felt that it needed some paper on there. So those are just a few things and then she didn't put anything here, so when you closed it, it looked like this. So I'm going to do it a little bit different, and I'll show you some other things as we go along. So I'm going to put that there, and I didn't, when I added these extra paper on, I did it after I put the card together. So I'm hoping when I do this the second time around with you guys and adding the paper that I'm going to put it on beforehand and that I put it in the right spot. So let's keep our fingers crossed as we make this card. So for this card, I am going to be using the Terrific Toadstool. I absolutely love this set and a punch. Now I went ahead and did a bunch of stuff ahead of time because the main purpose of this was to show you how to make the card. So what you need is all these parts. We're just going to push them over there. What you need is a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 8. Am I right? Okay. This side's 8.5. No, I take that back. This side's 8.5 and this side is 8. It's very close, very easily to get confused, so just make sure you have it on the right side. So then what you're going to do is on the, look at my little directions here, you're going to do on the 8.5 inch side, which is this upper here, what I did was I put a little pencil mark. I don't even know if it's going to see it when I cut it. Just put a pencil mark somewhere in the corner. That is a very good idea and a very good tip that Lisa had said. So I really think that that's a great idea. So on the 8.5 side, you're going to score very easy. I have to agree, this is a very, very easy card. You're going to score at 2. You're going to score at 4. You're going to score at 6, which is really nice. It butts it right up to that card and or the edge of the trimmer. And then you're going to open this up and you're going to scoot down to 8. And you're going to score. Okay. Now we're going to turn the card. We're going to rotate the card so now that our 8 inches up here and our 1/2 inch is here. And now we're going to cut. So we're going to cut at 2. So now we're using the cutting blade. So we're going to cut at 2. And then we're going to cut at 2 again. And this gives us 3 pieces that we need, and you did all the scoring in one rather than having to do them individually. So that's a really good tip. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead, and this is where I am thinking that I want to add my DSP, but before I do that, I am going to do some scoring. I'm just looking for my scoreboard, score tool. So we're going to score here on this, and what I would normally do is I would put my adhesive here. I would lay down, I'd put my adhesive here, then I would flip it over and I'm going to close it shut like this. So on the inside I need 2 pieces. So if I was going to close this up like this and I want this piece to be over here, then I want 2 pieces on either side of these. So you could decide where you want the 2 pieces. And I am going to put the 2 pieces on this side right here. So what I've done, because you don't need to go the whole length of the card because no one sees unless you look in there. I mean, I did go the whole length, but you're not going to see all the way down in it. But so what you need to do is just take some adhesive, and this square, I should tell you the square, this square is 1 3/4 by 1 no, I take that back. This square, oh, it is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you need 2 of them, and you're not mounting them on anything. I put my glasses down so I could see where the score lines are, so you can have it. I just put it down a little bit from the top, and I made sure equal parts on each side. So it looks like that. And then we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna put it on the one right next to it. And I'm praying that I did this right. If not, we'll just keep rotating it around till it looks right. So those are the 2 pieces that I'm going to put on the inside. Now my outside pieces, I can do them later, but you really should do the inside pieces ahead of time. So now I'm going to use, I'm just using regular snail, but you could use Heavy or Dirty or score tape or anything to that effect. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put this down like this, then you're just going to take this over and you're going to line it up the best you can to the edge of all of this, and then you're going to press it down. And now you have this little card. See how my 2 pieces are in the back right where I wanted them, and either this is going to be on this side or this would be on this side if you'd put them here. So it doesn't really matter because you can always just rotate your card around. So now we're going to set this up here and we're going to work on these little ones. Now these little ones, when you close them, I'm going to score one first to show you, to tell you how you're going to go ahead and put these down. I'm still on the camera. Okay, now we put this here and we're going to put the adhesive right here and we're going to lay this flat. Now when we attach this to our box, we want the flap up here in the back. And so if that's the case, my flap's here and I'm going to put the flap up at the back, I want my 2 pieces of paper here and here. So I want it on the opposite end of where the flap is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score this one also while I got it here. I'm going to tell you at the end the measurements and how many you needed of everything, because it's, as I'm going along, it is kind of hard to do that. So here I am using, I did some, I mounted these on here and I needed 4 of them. So I'm going to mount these on this end, and you, if you want the paper to go a certain direction, then I would put it like this, because your card is going to be, you know, up and down. But really, I don't think this is going to matter for these. They're going all sorts of different directions. So I'm just going to put this on here and hope I placed it in. Well, these do kind of have a directional, don't they? So if I put this on there and I'm putting that butted against, I want one here and I want one here. But I don't want it on, yeah. Okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at the thing. Okay, I want it this way. So I do want it on the flap side. So I'm going to put one here underneath the flap side, because I tried to do that. I did this afterwards and it was 10 times harder. So take the few minutes to kind of figure out in your head the right way that you want it to go so that it will be on your card right. And then you want this one down here on the bottom. So once you do one, you're going to do the other one the exact same way. So once you get one, then just use your other one as your sample. So if I mess this up, I've messed it up on both of them. So here we go. Okay. All right. So then we have that, and now what we're going to do is we're going to close this down and we're going to put adhesive all along here. Make sure we get some all the way to the ends, because that's important. And then we're going to close this up and close it up, you know, make sure you got it right to the edge there. And put it down, and then you have this so it pops up. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Make sure it goes all the way to the end and the top. And then we're going to close this down and make sure it goes to the end. Sometimes it's tricky because you're trying to hold the card down. Okay, so now we have this. Now you want this piece to be against this piece here, so that when it folds, it's going to fold up like this, but also it'll pop down. And you want your back flap from the one that you had the designer paper on onto the box. So we're going to put a lot. You can use you could use score tape here, you could use your whatever, but just make sure you go to the edge, and if you get anything off, tuck it back in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this flat. The one thing I have noticed on all of them that I've made, they do hang off a very tiny bit. I don't know why. This is, maybe it's the measurements, but this is what I did with this card with Lisa did. So I'm just following. I could be doing something wrong maybe, but I'm just following that, and I just made a few changes. So now we're going to take the very end of this, we're going to line this edge up with the score mark, but I'm going to mooch over just a tad bit, because if you put the other one in, the other one will hang off it'll hang off a lot and you'll really notice it. So if you have both of them hanging off just a tad bit, you don't notice it. So I have this one hanging off it's very little. I mean, maybe I'm holding the card so I can notice it. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the adhesive on this side all the way up and down. Really, really good. And then we are going to make sure, let's see. Oh, I did this one right. Okay, yep. I'll make sure I do this one right. And we are going to add this right at the bottom, and we're going to butt it right up against that other one. So just like that. And we have this. Now we have these 4 squares that we're going to decorate. And I got some of the mushroom paper with, I backed it with orange with the pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to put these on here. And then we're going to do this one. You could have a lot of fun with this front half, with like embellishing it, whatever. I really think this is a cute little card. I think a teenager, and this was where I was going to tell you something that you can do, and I'm thinking I'm going to figure it out. I just didn't do it with this one, and I wanted to share you guys. But the reason why I know this is I cut my first piece. I left it 8.5 by 8.5, and so I had a 1/2 inch longer here, and I was like, what did I do? But you have all the way until 5.5. So you could, because this is 4 inches wide, so you technically have all the way to 5.5 that either you can add taller embellishments on it, or you could go ahead and make this longer all the way up to the 5.5 mark, which is right here. So I mean, even if you wanted to go to 5 1/4, or 5 1/4, you still have right to there. That's a good 1.25 inches. So, I mean, there's a lot that you can do that I'm letting you know. So now we're going to open it up, and now I'm going to put 4 of these all on the inside, like this. So I hope these little tips will help you. I can't wait to see, like, what you guys do. And I have another little tip that I did, that I thought of after I was making my original, the baby one. And I will show you that and how to do it, because it does make it a lot easier when you're attaching stuff onto it. Okay, so we have this, and so then if you take, we're going to add some pop-up stuff here. If you take and fold your card, like you have it here, you take it and fold it like this, you have room to attach your little pop-up mechanisms without these blocks and stuff being in the way. I had a heck of a time, so I'm giving you this tip on how to do it, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute. So on the bottom one, we are going to add this word that says popping up to say. Normally it says hi, but I took my hi off because I want it to say whatever I want it to say. Happy birthday or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I want this on the back, that on the back side of this. So I need this right here, inside here. So what you want to do is this mechanism is, so this is the 3-inch, yes, this is a 3-inch by 1.5 inches. And you are going to score it at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inches, and 2.5 inches. Okay? Then we're going to take your liquid glue, and we're going to put adhesive on it right here, like this. And we're going to take and put adhesive on it right here, like this. Then we're going to go ahead, and like I said, you're going to squeeze this shut. So it's like that, And then you're going to bring this in. You might have to get one side set a little bit and then bring the other side in and squeeze it in and then push it into its position here. Oops. Yeah. Or you could squeeze it all together like this. Could put a little hold in the middle. But the whole moral is you want this one down. There it goes. You want this one to lay flat. Okay. Oh, sorry if I was off the camera. But you want this to lay flat like that. And then you have this. Then you can go ahead, while this is right there, and I'll take a little bit of adhesive and put it across your piece. And then put your popping up to say, and we're going to put that one right on there. We're just going to hold it there for a few minutes. I hope this is not too big. I didn't know if there was a set. We're learning as we go, because like I said, I only did the one, so we're learning as we go. So we have that. So now we have that one in there. So now we need another tinier mechanism, and this mechanism is a 2 by 1/2 inch, and you're going to score it at 1/4, 3/4, 1 1/4, and 1 3/4. So now we're going to get a hold of this, and we're going to put our glue. It's hard to hold it and pinch it, so I don't really know. This is how I did it, well, how I thought it would work, because the other way I did it I really struggled, but I mean, struggled worse than I am right now. So maybe put glue on one side first, then get that one in position, and then do your other one. But then you have to determine, now I have little mushrooms done here. Now I want them kind of right there, and then so I think this will be good right about here. So I'm going to line that 1/4 inch edge up right with the edge right here. So I'm lining it up right with that. And then I'm going to take this other side and I'm going to line that up with the edge. If I can get a hold of it. And then I just want to make sure it's right on the edge so it sticks out like that. So I put both 1/4 pieces on each side. And now I'm going to bring this back in a little bit because I've been having it popped out. Oh! I put that piece on wrong. Did you see that? I don't have a base there. Oh man, I'm going to have to make one for that. So I don't know what I did when I attached that one, but I did not do it right. And I didn't notice it till just now, and I don't want to rip it all off because I'd have to take everything off. So I will have to show you. So now what we're going to do is we want this piece right here in the middle like this. So we're going to go ahead, and you're going to see a little bit of this pink showing through, but it's going to be okay. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of, well, I'm going to put it on here because I'm not 100%. You could mark it, but I kind of eyeballed it. And I'm going to put it on here. If there's glue anywhere showing, like you can stick it, your finger, and a little powder, and we'll dab it up and make sure that it's not showing anywhere. I think I got it in the right, oh, right there's a little bit. Well, we'll dab that when we're done. But we got this going on. So here we are. So now we got these other little mushrooms that we want to stand up on our card. Like we did the little duck and we did the little toy. Now one thing I've noticed that when I close it, sometimes my toys bend. That's why you see the top there bent. And I think it's because I don't have them in the right position. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this down here. I'm going to lay it down to see if it lays flat like that, and it does. You could put it right on like this, which I think that's what I'm going to do for this one. I'm going to lay it completely flat. Now for this mechanism, I took another scrap piece of the cardstock, and I took a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I cut it in half. You can score this, I'm folding it right in half like this. Then I went ahead and I cut this one in half. So now I have a half of a circle. And that is what is on here, is a half of a circle. And oops, and that's what I took for this one. Now this one here, I took one of the halves and I cut off the little rounded part. So now I have this little piece that looks like that. If you could see it, I don't know if it's going to focus anywhere. I have that little piece, and then I just stuck that piece on here. And that gave me this little guy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some glue only to the little mechanism that you made with the circle punch. Okay? And then we're going to put it right here in the front, and we're going to lay it down like that. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to add a little adhesive, and then we are going to add it here in the front, and we're going to lay it down like that. So then these, after they dry, and when you mail it, now you want to lay them down flat so that when you mail this, everything should lay down. You might have to help all the little opponents at first. Like you put it all down. You might have to score a little bit. But after you get it down, if you tuck that in, it's okay if this hangs out. This could hang out a long ways. Like I said, you have like 1.25 inches here that you can work with still. And then you would put it in the envelope, and it fits in a regular A2 card envelope, and it can be mailed. And then when you could tie, I've seen people tie ribbons around them, and you could put a little note if you want there. And don't forget to make your piece for the back. I'll give you the measurements for that here. And then you open it up, and it just opens. It opens like this, everybody, and everything. This one I have a little glue on. Remember I said I have to get the glue off from it? And then everything just kind of pops up. I don't know, there's no good way to show this on. I will have to make sure I put some pictures in it, because there's no good way to show it here on the camera. But this is how I made this little card. Now I want to give you the measurements for the squares and stuff and how many I used. So for the Designer Series paper, it's 3 1/4 by it's 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. The square is. Now on mine, I used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of DSP in the little 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 squares. Now for the background, the orange that I used, and there are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and I end up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those, because I did not put any on the back of these two, okay, that go in there. So I used 12 of those. Now the white piece that goes on the back of this is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. And you can cut 2 and you can stamp something on it if you want, or you can just do 1. Whatever, if you have a lot to say, then you can write a lot on it and add a little greeting to it. I think I gave you all the measurements for everything. If I didn't, message me, leave a comment in the description box below, and I hope you will share, like, comment, all the good stuff, because that helps me more ways than you know. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Bye-bye.